We got some interesting news about the future of Xbox, but also updates on big PlayStation games. I want to shout out something that I saw and was like, this looks awesome, and we got way more gaming news to go over, so sit back and let's go. But first, Ubisoft issued an apology for Assassin's Creed Shadows. If you did not know, they made a pretty big blunder. In this concept art, they used a flag from the historical reenactment group that is still active. The thing is though, that they did not ask for any permission, so now they say that they won't use this artwork anymore to promote the game, but the art book for the collector's edition has seemingly already been printed, so it's too late to remove it from there, they say. It really feels like they could have prevented this if they used one of the many clan flags from actual historical clans that don't exist anymore, you would think. So Ubisoft now issued a statement for this and for some other things. So on Twitter we got 4 images. The first one basically says how excited they are to work on the Japanese setting, and in the second image they say that they of course use historians and researchers to work on the series, and that Assassin's Creed games, including Shadows, have never been presented as factual representations of history or historical characters. It's kind of crazy that they have to say this, looking at the crazy things we did in the previous games as well. And let's not forget about the text that we see every time we boot up an Assassin's Creed game. They continue in the third image, saying that despite the sustained efforts, we acknowledge that some elements in our promotional materials have caused concern within the Japanese community. For this, we sincerely apologize. Okay, fair, but then the final image goes on about Yasuke. While he is depicted as a samurai in Assassin's Creed Shadows, we acknowledge that this is a matter of debate and discussion. We have woven this carefully into our narrative, and with our other lead character, the Japanese shinobi Naoe, who is equally important in the game. Our dual protagonists provide players with different gameplay styles. So I personally think it would have been better if Ubisoft just did not address the Yasuke situation. Like, stand behind your decision, like be proud that you went with this interesting character, and don't be like, hey, but we also have this Japanese character, look. Like, we don't have the game yet, we don't know how he is represented and if it's gonna work out, but I think on paper that it's interesting to, next to a Japanese native character, to also have this outsider perspective on the Japanese culture, something that worked really well in the Shogun TV show recently. So maybe it is a debate whether he's a samurai or not. In other entertainment he was also a samurai, like a Netflix show. I think you should just stand behind it. Your researchers and historians, like they said, yeah, it can happen. Again, you're making fiction. Don't give in to the hate. That's like, this statement kind of feels super defensive about it. And I wish they would be like, no, we went with this character. You're in or you're out. If you don't want to buy the game, sure. This is the story we want to tell. Gamescom is likely when we get a big new update on Assassin's Creed Shadows. I will have a video with new details before that, very likely, so stay tuned for that. Like, I will criticize the game when there are systems about the game, elements or whatever, that I'm like, why are we going this route? When I see things that I like, I will celebrate them. I'm excited, I can't wait to play this, and I will of course keep you up to date here. And of course, if you have any like takes on the apology or the situation, drop it in the comments. So Stellar Blade will totally end up in my top 10, maybe even top 5 games of 2024 on like number 5. And seems like more people can enjoy the game in the near future, because the developer Shift Up is now looking for a battle designer for PC production. Like, this game is gonna do very well on PC, and I don't think I have to explain why. And it also plays very well as well. But yeah, with them having job openings up right now, I do think the PC version is more a 2025 release instead of something we see this year. What PS5 users will get this year though are more free updates, including a photo mode that the developers have now been teasing on Twitter. It seems to include some poses for Eve as well, which of course very common in photo modes. And they've now been teasing new outfits for this update as well. If you thought Eve could not wear less, then you got it wrong. And now this tweet does note that we will have to wait a little longer for the photo mode. I would also be down for some actual new content. DLC might be in the cards, or maybe they move straight to the sequel. Stellar Blade is at least here to stay, and that's more than deserved. It's always cool to see a new IP do well. Let me know, of course, what you think of Stellar Blade in the comments. Another new IP that we saw on PlayStation this year was, of course, Rise of the Ronin. And as you might know, I'm not the biggest fan. Well, this should have been a slam dunk for me, but I just could not get through it. because of the predictable structure, the all over the place story and difficulty, and it just did not feel like a PS5 game graphically at all. Well, now you can see if you do like it, because there's a demo for the game right now that you can search in the PlayStation Store. It includes the first like few hours, basically till the first sort of boss encounter. I did like the game up until that point. It was mostly that when I kept playing, I realized that there wasn't much else going on here. But I hope you like it more. You can now at least give it a shot, so I wanted to let you know. Now let's go over that Xbox news, and again I wanted to shout out something cool as well and tease what's coming this coming week. If you like these big gaming news roundup videos, then leave a like. That would really help me out, so thanks for that. And subscribe, because we post one of these videos every Sunday. We got a small Game Pass update. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is now, for example, on the service. You can play the 4-hour campaign as part of your subscription if you want. No, but I'm interested to see what this does for the franchise and the sales of Modern Warfare 3, the main game. Like in May in the US, the game was the #3 bestseller on all platforms and the #2 overall for the year for 2024. Just behind Helldivers 2, which is crazy. And more Activision games are coming to Game Pass, like Crash Bandicoot The Insane Trilogy should be coming on August 8th. So it seems like they are going to drip feed the titles, which I think is a smart move before their new big hitters, of course, release at the end of the year. So we discussed the price increase in a previous Sunday video already. $20 in the future for Game Pass Ultimate to get these Microsoft games day one. But it seems that they are now also exploring brand new Game Pass tiers. So Windows Central reports that they have heard that Microsoft is working towards a cloud-only version of its subscription that would be cheaper and more approachable to buy than Game Pass Ultimate. From what I tried, xCloud is very good in regions with good internet, so a lower price for a streaming only option could totally be the lower barrier to entry for people who don't own an Xbox. Like maybe you saw it, but you can now get a Fire Stick with an Xbox controller for less than $100 and then stream Xbox games to your TV. If they can market this right, this could be pretty big for Microsoft, but also for gaming in general, with way more people who otherwise would not play console games because they don't want to spend like a few $100s on a console, now being able to join. Like if they can somehow find a way to stream GTA 6 through xCloud, through the Fire Stick and Xbox combo, I think that's kind of a game changer. I know it's only the Game Pass stuff right now that you can stream, but still, like a cheaper option to get people to play GTA 6 that does not involve buying a PS5 or Xbox Series, I think would be huge. Of course, curiously hear your takes in the comments. I overall think that streaming, still with a controller, and if the latency gets better, is totally the future, at least for single player games. And if you are a frequent viewer of the Sunday videos, you know I did something in the past called Highlight Alright. I don't know why I wanted to give it a weird name, but I want to bring it back for this week because I wanted to give a shout out to Warframe 1999. Now yes, I know Warframe is more than a 10-year-old MMO that I remember playing as a launch game on my PS4, but quickly dropped off afterwards. It's still pretty popular though. But there's now a new free expansion they're dropping in the winter of this year that looks like a completely new game. Again, it should be free like their other updates. So we go back in time to 1999 and follow Arthur, who is voiced by Ben Starr, who of course became famous for his role as Clive in Final Fantasy XVI. And yes, this really gives some Metal Gear Rising Revengeance vibe, and I love that game, and we haven't really had something like that afterwards, or maybe I'm missing something. Either way, just like the core Warframe game, like you can use your blade to slash enemies, but also a gun to take out enemies. I love this moment where you can ride away on your motorcycle, which is new by the way, and you can summon this at any time. But in this cutscene, you're like riding and then the other people from your syndicate join you, and some of them are just super fast, so they don't need a vehicle. I thought this scene was really cool. And also new is that you can romance these characters, so we should develop quite the bond with them. Now, as you might know, Digital Extremes made Dark Sector 15 years ago, and this free DLC kinda gives the same vibe. Like again, I have not touched Warframe in a while, but if I can just jump into this game at the end of the year after the DLC comes out and immediately boot up this 1999 DLC, play a cool story solo and then leave, I think I would totally do that. This looks awesome. And hopefully it becomes a trend for live service games that I normally don't have the time for, to release like fun single player story content so that even people who normally don't play the game can jump in and enjoy it. Like, I like the core mechanics of Warframe, I just don't want to grind it out. I have other games to play as well, but if I can just play this, I would be down for it. Same for Apex Legends. Like, give me a Titanfall-like single-player campaign with these characters, and I would be playing. Of course, if you are a Warframe fan and are like, that is not really true, or I have some extra context, drop it in the comments. I'm all ear. I just saw this trailer and I was like, I want to play this. This looks awesome. Of course, also, I'm curious if you're like me, not really into Warframe. What do you think of the 1999 update? Ubisoft said during their investor call that at the end of July they would have Star Wars Outlaws previews, and well, this coming week, it's the end of July. I can't say much more. We played the open world sections, we can say that, because Ubisoft said it during their financial call. So there is a chance that this coming week there will be some Star Wars Outlaws stuff on the channel, so look forward to that. I also played another game at Summer Game Fest. It's been a while, but I wanted to like kind of think about it, like have the time to properly make this video. I think we will launch that this week as well. We're back full force this week. Like, July has been a nice time to kind of relax a lot as well, but August is gonna be kind of crazy and I'm excited for it. So hope you're along for the ride. Of course, at the end of the week we will also have a Sunday video, a gaming news roundup like this. So subscribe to not miss it. A like on the video would of course really help me out. And check out the previous Sunday video with the biggest gaming news by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you very soon. Goodbye.